going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today, I got a good one for you. We have the Nighthawk Custom Agent 2. I always mess up that name. It is a collaboration between Nighthawk Custom and Agency Arms, and it is just a beautiful, beautiful gun. What did you guys think of that introduction? Once again, my friends at Anvil Media filmed and then edited the introduction. I am not capable of doing an edit like that yet. And the 2 or 3 videos they have helped me with have all been just straight fire, and that introduction was no different. Anyway, this is the Nighthawk Custom Agent 2. It is a collaboration, like I said, between Nighthawk Custom and Agency Arms. Nighthawk Customs makes some of the nicest high-end 1911, 2011s on the market. Their motto is one gun, one gunsmith. So one gunsmith gets all the parts, and they build that gun from soup to nuts completely themselves without going to anybody else. And they actually take underneath one of the grip covers here, they actually initial it so you know who built it. A lot of 1911 or Nighthawk Custom enthusiasts who have multiple pistols will have the same gunsmith build all of their pistols, which I thought was kind of cool. Agency Arms, if you don't know, they're kind of the kings of Gucci Glocks. They build a lot more than just Glocks. They do a lot of really cool slide cuts and relief cuts and comps and Cerakotes, and they deal mostly with polymer guns. Where Nighthawk Custom mostly deals with 1911s. The one thing I love about both companies, and really the Trigicon as well, all 3 companies are very, very proud Christian companies. And if you guys don't know, I am also a very, very proud Christian as well. So I was kind of drawn to all 3 companies, being that they're very, very proud of their religion, as everybody who is religious should be proud of whatever your religion is. Anyway, I didn't know a ton about Nighthawk Custom before this review. Like, I was aware of what they did and who they are, but their pistols are just out of my price range personally. I can't afford them where I am right now in this world. Maybe one day. And as I was doing my research, the one thing that really stood out to me is how much you can customize the gun to make it yours. Like, you start with the base package, and then they have a very, very long list of upgrades that you can do to the pistol. So if you want to change out the trigger or mag release or an ambi safety or different sights, or make it an optics ready pistol or convert it to a 2011, I mean, the list of upgrades on their website is very, very long and impressive. Before we get into this pistol, let me very quickly do my disclosure. Yes, I work in the firearms industry, but no, that will not affect this review in any way, shape, or form, because these opinions are mine and mine only. I do not have a connection to Nighthawk, Agency Arms, Trigicon, Rail Scales, who makes the grip, or any other company that has anything to do with this pistol. This pistol was once again loaned to me by my homie, Johnny. Johnny grew up in the same neighborhood as I did, and Johnny's a really, really good guy, and Johnny has exquisite taste in firearms. Not only did he let me borrow this Nighthawk Custom, he let me borrow his Staccato XL, which is a beautiful gun, his H&K VP9 long slide, which is also a great gun, and I have something else coming next from Johnny that I am looking forward to showing to you guys. As always, let's start at the bottom with the magazines, and we'll work our way forward. If you get the 45 ACP version of this gun, and it's a 1911, so I think that's a requirement, it holds 7 rounds of 45 ACP. If you go for the 9mm one, which is the one I would probably go for, it will hold 10 rounds of 9mm. They also have an option to upgrade to a 10mm, which is dope. Maybe I would upgrade this to a 10mm 2011 if I was gonna get one. I don't know, why not? If I'm gonna go crazy, might as well go over the top. Magazines are metal, made in the USA, high quality, no issues, ran flawless. I did have some problems with the Wilson Combat magazines. These do not come with it. Nighthawk does not recommend using them with it, but some of the other magazines I used did not drop freely. The Nighthawk Custom magazines were flawless and function 100%. My only beef is it only comes with 2 magazines, and if I'm spending $5 grand on a pistol, I should probably get at least 3. Then again, if you can afford a $5,000 gun, you can afford the magazines. So everything on this gun is like top notch, perfect fit, finish. You know, the mainspring housing is one piece, the frame is forged, and I really, really think that this gun is going to last longer than anybody watching this video. The grip on here, which can easily be changed out, but these are really, really nice. Like I said, they're made by Rail Scales. They're a set of G10 grips. Not only do they work very very well when you're shooting the gun. I also think they look very aesthetically pleasing, and they blend and match the rest of the gun very, very well. Now your front and your back straps have a fairly aggressive vertical cut on them, and when you're shooting this gun, I mean, your grip is locked in place. It does not budge. I don't care if you're shooting defensive load 45 ACP, which I did run a couple mags of that through here. The gun does not move, assuming you have a proper grip. Now, being it's a 1911, of course it has a grip safety, which is no big deal. I would expect it to have it, and there is absolutely positively no way to grip this pistol without depressing that grip safety, so I am a-okay with it. The magazine release is fantastic, just like everything else on this gun. Good shape, good size, good location, drops the magazines freely. They do have some options, I believe, to customize the mag release if you want, but this one is fine. Now, the nicest part of this gun, well, one of the nicest parts of this gun is going to be the trigger. It's really, really nice. They call it the Nighthawk Agency Custom Trigger. It's a flat face trigger. The bottom of it does have a little kick out, and it fits my finger perfect, the shape of it. It is serrated as well, and man, I wouldn't trade anything about this trigger. Now, if you are going to carry this gun, I would practice with it a lot, because when I say the trigger is light, the trigger is light. The first time I shot it, it broke before I was ready for it to break. I was still on target, and I was, pointing in a safe direction, and the second I touched that trigger, it broke. I was like, whoa, that trigger is light. Still hit the target. On my scale, I tested it on my Lyman trigger gauge 10 times, and it did not break over 2 pounds at all, not once. Every single time it broke less than 2 pounds. I think the highest was like 1 pound, 11 ounces or something like that. So it is a very, very light and very, very crisp trigger with a tiny bit of take up and only a tiny bit of reset. So make sure you practice if you're going to carry this gun. So this particular 1911 does have a rail on it. It is a lightened recon rail, I believe Nighthawk calls it. It's shortened. It doesn't run the entire length of the dust cover. It does have 3 cutouts, so you can add a light laser or a doohickey, and no issues, no problems with the rail. Actually, we haven't done this in a while, but how about we give that rail an upgrade? Now, I think that looks much better. Anyway, the safety on here is not ambi. It's only on the left side of the gun for you righties, but again, if you are a lefty or you want an ambi safety, that is something you can have Nighthawk Custom do. Again, good shape, good size, good location, good texture, tactile, audible. Safety is absolutely perfect. My real favorite part about this gun is going to be the slide stop, slide release. On all my pistol reviews, I say it, if I can't use that as a slide release, it kind of bums me out. I really try to use this as a slide release on every single gun I shoot. That's just how I do magazine exchanges. And 1911s and 2011s, most of them you cannot reach, but this one is an extended and angled in a way much further back where I can easily, I'm not going to slam the slide and have you 1911 guys cry, but you can easily reach it and send the slide forward, and it's just perfect. I love A++ Nighthawk on the slide release. Now moving on up to the slide, Agency Arms does all of the slide work on these particular pistols. They do the relief cuts, they do all of the serrations on the front and rear, and I think they did again an A++ job with the slide cuts and the relief cuts. Not only are they very, very aesthetically pleasing, they are angled in a way that makes running the slide very, very easy. It doesn't matter how you run that slide with these aggressive cuts, it's going to be very, very easy. So, man, great job, Agency Arms. Speaking of the way the slide feels, as you would expect with a gun of this caliber, this price, it is buttery smooth. Like, I wish you guys could feel this. Like, I brought this into my work and let my boss shoot it, and I've said it before, my boss has been in the firearms industry for like 20 years, and it's very, very hard to impress him. And he held this gun, he's like, oh, it's nice, and he went, ooh. I'm surprised he hasn't went out and bought one yet. Anyway, the sights and the optic system. The sights are great. Again, A++. If you don't like this particular setup, you can get it however you want. But this is a fiber optic front sight. This particular one has red in it, and I do like that red fiber optic front sight and a blacked out rear sight. That's just what my eyes pick up the easiest. I did run it mostly with the red dot, but I took this to a training class, believe it or not. It was a 2-hour fitness class that I took this to, and the red dot came loose. Wasn't Loctited on, so I just took it off so I didn't lose it or anything, and I just ran it with iron sights, and it was absolutely fine. No problem. Of course, it's easier with the dot, but running it with irons is a-okay. When you add the optics ready system on here, the iOS system is what they call it, it does relocate the rear sight in front of the dot. Again, that's fine. Doesn't bother me at all. In a way, it kind of protects it a little bit. To get the iOS system on a 1911 or 2011 from Nighthawk Custom, it's an additional $350, and then the accessory plate for whatever optic you want to run is an additional $150. And at first I was like, man, that's kind of expensive. The gun itself already cost almost $5 grand. And then I started thinking, there's other higher end companies, not quite as high as this, like Staccato. They charge an additional $500 to get one of their guns optics ready. So maybe it's not quite as crazy as I thought it was. I am just cheap. If you guys know, every single time I review a high-end product, I mention this because I am the cheapest gun tuber on YouTube, no doubt. So anyway, the sights are great. The optic system is wonderful because it mounts directly to the frame, not to the plate. So it is very, very rock solid. Great job with the optic system, Nighthawk Custom. A couple more really quick things before we get into the pros and cons. The case, if you care, very, very nice. Has a front zipper pouch here for accessories. Comes with the back plate for the optic system, a couple Allen wrenches, the takedown tool. Then on this side you have 4 spots for magazines and a nice Velcro spot to keep and help keep the pistol protected. Now the barrel inside here is a 5-inch barrel. It is a recessed crown, and no doubt it will outlast me and outshoot me any day of the week. As far as the dimensions, it is a big, heavy, full-size 1911, and that's what part of the reason that it makes it shoot so darn nice. I had 4 different people shoot this gun and probably 5 or 6 hold and fiddle the gun, and they all were, man, once you shoot one and handle one, you understand why they're so expensive. It may not be in your price range, but the fit and finish is so nice that at least you understand why they cost so much. The 3 biggest the shooting. So I brought it to the range on 4 separate weekends. I shot 300 rounds through it. I brought it to a fitness class. We have shooters fitness class that I take every Monday here in Rhode Island at the Elite Indoor Gun Range. And I shot this pistol all day at the indoor fitness class. And I shot a bunch of steel with it, just random drills like I always do at the range, barricades, barrels, that type of stuff. And it ran flawless. The only thing I'm not used to is all the guns that I shoot have much higher capacity magazines. Usually the gun I shoot at the range has a 21 round magazine, and then going back to, and in a class, I'll manage my ammo so I don't really have to do slide block reloads all that often. And with this 7 rounds, man, my mind is on autopilot with the 21 rounder, not used to those 7 round magazines, so that was strange. But I shot it a whole bunch, and it ran flawless and no issues. Anyway, as far as pros, my 3 favorite things I like about this gun. 1, the trigger. The trigger is sensational, super light, so if you go back from one gun to another, just be careful on that, but the trigger is great. The slide release is wonderful. I love that it's a 1911 and I can reach that slide release. Now I won't make 1911 guys cry, I won't drop it, but you can easily reach it if you want to use it as a slide release. The third is just going to be the overall fit and finish. I know I mentioned it a few times already, but once you feel this gun, rack the slide and shoot it, you definitely understand why it costs so much. Now as far as cons, I bet you guys think I'm going to say the price, and I'm not going to say the price. Yes, this thing is expensive. It's not made for everyone. It's not a Glock, It's not made for me. I wear an Apple Watch. This is for someone who wears a Timex or another really high-end watch like a Timex. I meant Rolex. Sorry. Somebody who wears a Rolex is going to look at a gun like this, not somebody like me. So I don't have any cons of this pistol. If I was going to get one, I think I'd do a 2011, and I'd probably do it in 9mm. But the gun is absolutely beautiful. As far as uses, I think most people are going to keep these as a safe queen and not take them out too often. I'd like to know what you think. If you had a gun like this, you bought it, you want it, whatever, would you leave it as a safe queen? Would you carry it? Would you bring it to trainings? Would you bring it to the range? What would you do with it? If this was my gun, I would shoot this and carry it and bring it to the range and do all of those things all of the time. What's the point of having a beautiful $5,000 gun and never taking it out? I would use and abuse this thing so bad. But home defense, obviously, self-defense, concealed carry. I think most people are going to leave it in the safe. Maybe bring out to an occasional range day and show their buddies. But most of the time, these are going to be safe queens, if I had to guess. One more time, let me thank my friend Johnny for not only loaning me this pistol and the other pistols he loaned me. It's very, very kind of him, and everyone else who loans me pistols for review, because without people being kind like that, there would be no Tiberious television. Let me also thank you guys for watching, because it is greatly, greatly appreciated. If you are looking to support the channel, the best way to do so is on Patreon. If you're not willing and able to kick up a few dollars per month on Patreon, that is no big deal. Just keep the likes and the comments coming, because they truly help me out. Now, if you want to know what reviews I'm coming out with next, consider subscribing to the channel and enabling the bell notification. If you do that, hopefully YouTube will notify you when I come out with a new video. If you want to know what reviews I'm working on right now in real time, consider following me on Instagram, Facebook, Parler, MeWe, Rumble. The links to all of those are down in the video description. I think I mentioned in the beginning of the video, maybe not. I have 4 really wonderful companies who support me with affiliate links. Blackout Coffee for all of your coffee, tea, and hot chocolate needs. Prime Armor if you need body armor or a plate carrier. And yes, every civilian should have body armor. USCCA for self-defense training, self-defense education, and self-defense insurance. Last but certainly not least, Shall Not Comply offers some of the best pro-gun, pro-2A apparel, period. One more time, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.